through storms, unshaken, unbowed. Through trials and verdicts, still standing proud. A titan in the tempest, against the raging crowd. He's got a vision for the future, gonna shout it aloud. Change in the wind, it's coming fast. A new foundation built to last. Cryptocurrency's the key, make the big switch. Power to the people, time to teach the rich. Legal battles can't hold him, he's moving on. With plans so bold, from dusk till dawn. He's rewriting the rules, a new dawn's day. From the hands of the few to the people's way. Say goodbye to all chains, embrace the new. A financial revolution, fair and true. For the workers, the dreamers, side by side. In Trump's new era, let freedom rise. Change in the wind, it's coming fast.
Welcome, everyone, to the Crazy Kryptonaut. I am Zester, and thank you guys so much for joining this evening. And I would go ahead and preface everything with the fact that I am absolutely not on top of my professional game this evening in the slightest. I have been extremely excited in regards to information I received about Valentino and Valentina, but we do have some pretty important information to go through today. And so we're going to be balancing things between my excitement about the fact that everything in my house in terms of the cats, animals, and everything of that nature is going very well. And then also general excitement about the crypto markets and the fact that we really need to discuss the distinction between Web 3.0 and Web 2.0, because we all experienced that difference over this last weekend with the CrowdStrike hack that occurred. That was a Web 2.0 hack, essentially to make things a little bit simpler. And we already have the technology and the ability to exist inside of Web 3.0, which is a decentralized world. And so we're going to be going through a lot of different things today, but of course, we're going to be celebrating the fact that the cats are all extremely healthy. And, well, let's say hello first, and then I'll jump into it. And so, what is up, everybody? Welcome. Oh, Gary, thank you so much. Number one, I appreciate it. For those that are on Rumble tonight, I would say I am not available on Rumble. And unfortunately, I am still essentially banned on YouTube. And so, for those that are here, thank you so much for joining. Please keep in mind that this stream is not being shared with anyone that is not already my subscriber. And so I greatly appreciate you being here at the moment. I'm still fighting with YouTube in regards to these things. And so thank you guys so much. Please, if there is an ad, skip it or something, because YouTube is just taking all of it. Everything from my channel currently is kind of sitting in limbo, but they're still letting me talk. And so I'm going to take advantage of that opportunity because we have some important information to share. And Gary, thank you so much. And Kukla, as always, thank you so much for everything you do. You are a superhero, a super heroine, I guess is what you're supposed to say, but it's got a bad ring to it. You're a superhero, Kukla. Thank you so much for everything you do. And Kathy, it certainly sounds like excellent news. It is excellent news in regards to the cats. Thank you so much, Kathy, for joining. Absolutely. And we do. We have awesome, awesome news. And I will be going back again later to talk about it on the original Mark Z come 7 p.m. because I know so many people are going to be excited to hear it. George Yukovich, Rumble also or just two. Unfortunately, George, I am continuing to have issues with both services. I am not certain. The only thing I'm happy about right now is that the stream is even working. It seems as if the CrowdStrike issues in regards to their information, their servers, either it is affecting a lot of different people or we're seeing a general crackdown around the internet. And so I, as a channel, am sitting kind of in that very, very weak point. I'm not very large. There's not a lot of people. And so they are able to go ahead and slap down my channel essentially with no answers, no anything. They're not going to get a lot of feedback. They're not going to hear a lot of people calling in angry. They're not going to get a news article. And so I sit in kind of a certain point in regards to my streams and my information where it's very, very, very easy for those in power to go ahead and say that I'm not allowed to talk. It's extremely simple for them. Just because I'm not a big enough community. I'm not enough to make a stink. And so I am having a very, very hard time at the moment, George, in terms of a lot of the different social media outlets in regards to putting my stream out. Right now, I hope that I'm currently going out on YouTube and Twitch. I think that the issue with Rumble is something that can be solved very easily, but it was not working when I tried earlier. So, yeah, there's a lot of craziness going on in the world, George. At this point in time, in all honesty, we have far more crazy political things going on. We have far more craziness going on in the news than anything else. I just want to be able to talk about all that and want to be able to share that information because I'm getting crazy things told to me in regards to what's going on right now. And I just want to be able to share it. And we've got a lot of information in regards to crypto that people need to be able to hear. So I'm glad that we're still available on whatever outlets are allowing me at the moment. What's up, Bear and Lily Pad? How are y'all doing? And welcome, Donna. I currently have two angry cats hanging out with each other after their month apart. They're a little bit ornery over to my left. So if anyone hears any cats going at it or making any crazy sounds, that would be Tino and Tina getting to know each other again after a month apart. What's up, David? David says, good afternoon. Hello, everyone. Zester, here's your apple. Thank you so much for mi manzana, David. I appreciate it, man. And thank you for joining us this evening. George, Biden apparently canceled a meeting with Netanyahu. So Ned is asking to meet with Trump instead. I can see why. The tides have turned. The politics have entirely turned. The Democratic Party is essentially throwing up a white flag at this point and just saying, please leave us alone. And Donald Trump is going to be the president of the United States. Excited isn't even close to really representing my feelings in regards to the change, but it's happening. What's up, Michael and Mary and Nancy and Danny? Oh, and welcome, Petrichor. And yes, a lot of happy news in regards to the kitty cats. A lot. Oh, and a joyful voice and a musical lady. Sorry, guys, I'm having to kind of run through a lot of the hellos, and I do need to make certain I grab that one. Also, because absolutely, everything on the Crazy Kryptonaut channel or everything that Zester ever says is for education and entertainment purposes alone. Please consult with a financial or legal professional before making any major life decisions. Thank you so much for making certain I get through that one, Cook Glenn. What's up, Danny? And all right. Looney Cottrell and Grifting Zerfoss. Hi, Zach. What's your grifting pops up to? The fantasy RV racket. I suppose there's plenty of idiots like Cook. Well, that's a very nice statement of you to say, Mr. Skefla. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. And actually, I was just talking about you very, very recently, actually. And so please continue to comment on our videos. Please, Skefla, continue to comment on all of our videos. Leave chats, leave comments. I even have an email address if you'd like to send emails along to it as well, Skefla, because we'd really appreciate it. So thank you so much for what you do out there, Skefla, to help things out. I would greatly appreciate you leaving a few extra comments this evening. Gary Sevens, Zester, can you do a Telegram or Zoom show? Just curious. Rumble/YouTube stinks. I could. We could. And I think though that our next big move is actually going to be to X. Because X is allowing all of the different live streaming and is allowing that option now. I'm thinking that our move is going to be towards Elon Musk rather than trusting a lot of these other ones. Zoom, Telegram, awesome options. But I do think very, very soon you're going to start seeing not just myself, but probably also the original Mark Z popping up on X. Because we have to go where free speech is allowed. Ultimately, right now, we are moving towards where free speech is allowed. Platforms that support the American ideals, that is what's important. All right, though, guys. Sorry, there have been a lot of the chat has been kind of taken up from silliness on my side, and so I'm gonna go ahead and scroll all the way down and start from the new chats and jump in to a little bit of the news today. Before I jump into that, though, I would like everyone to know that this is essentially the big announcement is that Tina is negative. Tina does not have FIV. She doesn't. And so I know you're fighting with him, but people are very excited that you're healthy, baby. They are. They are very excited. Because they don't have to worry, and I don't have to worry, and you and Tino get to be brother and sister forever. So they are perfectly together. The PCR test that was run that did require more time and more of an in-depth check came up that Tina is negative. Tina tested positive on the first test because her mother had FIV. And so that means that she was born with the antibodies in order to protect herself against the FIV virus. Just said virus 2 times, but yeah, you know what I mean. She had the antibodies in order to protect against the illness. She did not have the illness. And so both Tino and Tina are perfectly safe to be with each other for their entire lives. I'm extremely glad that we went through and had the in-depth test in order to make certain. I'm very glad that we did. And I would absolutely say to the community, that everyone's donations and everyone's support was a large part behind why we had, and I had so much conviction behind ensuring that it was verified. That was very important to me, and everyone being so supportive and everyone's information and news, that was extremely helpful. Thank you so much for all of the information and for everything that you shared in regards to helping with that. It was a huge benefit. And now I have two very, very happy cats that are going to get to live out a long life and a wonderful, wonderful home on account of it. And so thank you all. I love you. I know that Tino and Tina absolutely love y'all. And now we are dealing with a little bit of the repercussions of them being separated for that long. But keep in mind, I found out the news at about 3:30 p.m. today. That was when I found out, and I didn't believe it for about 30 minutes until I got the documentation in my email. And so at about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the doors were opened and the cats got to be back together with each other. And so it's been an hour. And needless to say, they are, well, they're having a bit of a standoff over the whole thing. I'm not certain who's angrier at who. I think Tino is just really angry that Tina kind of took his spot for a little while, but they are negotiating at the moment in regards to a ceasefire, and I'm certain that Tino and Tina are going to figure out a solution to cease hostilities far before Israel and Palestine do. So I am extremely happy at the moment, guys. In all honesty, I had a hard time even getting ready to go live and do the stream this evening, just because all I have been thinking about is just how happy I am over the fact that God obviously is looking out at the moment. Because I always felt, and I know everyone had mentioned and had said that it seemed as if there was a greater power that made the decision that these cats would show up at the time they did. And for me, it was nothing more than a greater indication that faith in God is what's important. Because if I were just any normal person, I would have gotten that diagnosis and the answer would have been to put the cat down. It would have been. That's normal practice. The FIV test comes back positive. You put the cat down in order to protect everyone else. And the going through and doing the extra options resulted in a cat living that wouldn't have previously lived. Not in any other house, not with anyone else. It wouldn't have. Everyone would have said, in Puerto Rico, or even in much of the United States, they would have said, put the cat down. And so I am extremely grateful. Extremely grateful. And I put all praise towards a higher power, because ultimately it was a huge, huge win. Yes. I can't really, I'm still distracted by all of it. But guys, all right. I'm going to get back to the news and everything else. I'm feeling an immense amount of relief, an immense amount of happiness. But ultimately, we have important news to share. And so we're going to jump right into that now, guys. And of course, we may have a few more appearances from the infamous Tina and Tino duo at some point in time throughout the evening. And I know we're going to be seeing them more on the evening news on the original Mark C. And so I'm very convinced that I have done something right in regards to divine power, or whether the community's prayers have managed to make it happen, because I'm pretty certain we prayed away something that is extremely serious, and there has to be some meaning to that. There has to be some meaning to that. And I do, guys. I'm sorry when I work around words, but ultimately I'm already a channel that people are mad at in terms of some degree of censorship, and so I am kind of overly cautious on word choices when I don't want to be. But I know exactly who made these things happen. All right, so jumping into the news, guys, because we do. Markets are exploding. Compliments of what? Well, compliments of the fact that Donald J. Trump is going to be president. And so we are looking at an extremely happy crypto market for those that are Bitcoin holders, Ethereum holders, XRP holders. Happy, I don't think would even be close to the right word. Bitcoin sitting around 68,000, right below at the moment. Ethereum sitting right below 3,500, and XRP sitting over 60 cents. We are looking at an extremely happy market on account of the changes in regards to the politics. Stellar, similarly, sitting at sitting at a dime. And when we look at a lot of the overall charts, we see that Stellar is not doing as well as everyone else, but still very, very positive. My big focus would be on XRP in regards to the current decisions. It's obvious that we are seeing a major shift in terms of the financial system, and we're going to jump into a lot of those articles coming up just next, because it's not just me saying it. There are a lot of different talking heads, financial analysts, whether they're in the traditional space or in the decentralized or blockchain space, that are saying the same thing. Right now, everyone is essentially in unison. When it comes down to it, crypto markets and the financial system on the whole are extremely positive because of the fact that Donald J. Trump is going to be president. That is going to be a really, really big thing. And we're going to talk about another very big event that is coming, well, in the next couple of days, and that I think we all need to be aware of. So jumping into our first article, and the one that I was mentioning, and yes, I'm going to go ahead and apologize for the fact that I have got a Forbes article. I would point down here to the fact that I am not paying for it, because I do not wish to utilize the Forbes network in any form or fashion, but ultimately their article was on point today. And so we're going with it, even though I don't want to share a Forbes article. I probably will not share this link inside of the links for the day, just as a matter of not getting any more clicks on Forbes.com. But are you ready? Elon Musk fans wild rumors that Donald Trump will create a U.S. Bitcoin strategic reserve and trigger crypto price chaos. So guys, we talked about this just a few days ago. The fact that Trump is going to be at the Bitcoin conference. And there are a lot of people that are now speculating from the Trump campaign that Trump is going to actually go ahead and announce a Bitcoin strategic reserve for the United States. If that were to occur, then crypto prices, and we're talking XRP, XLM, all of them are going to go nuts. They're going to go straight to the roof. They're going to break through every barrier, every different all-time high, if Donald Trump announces that he is going to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve during the Bitcoin conference, which is coming up, it is going to result in an absolute skyrocketing of the crypto markets. We're going to see Bitcoin, we're going to see XRP, we're going to see all of them hitting new all-time highs. And if they're not hitting a new all-time high, they're definitely going to be tickling it. They're going to at least be in the ballpark. And so this is something to look forward to in the coming days, or it'll be a whole bunch of nothing. Personally, from the sources I have heard from, there is a very, very, very high chance that Donald Trump is going to mention and talk about a Bitcoin reserve for the United States in the next couple of days. That is what I'm hearing. That is what I'm being told. Whether it is true or not, of course, we are going to have to wait and see. But if it does occur, every single cryptocurrency is going to skyrocket. They're going to. Regardless of where they're at or what they're doing, some are going to do better than others, of course. But ultimately, if we do end up getting this announcement from Trump, it is going to go absolutely gangbusters in regards to prices for cryptos. Whether it's in regards to Bitcoin specifically, or XRP, or XLM, or XDC, it doesn't matter where they're at. They're all going to benefit from this announcement. And certain ones are going to benefit more than others. When it comes down to picking the winners and losers in regards to how well one is doing against another, I'm not going to participate in trying to pick the ones that are going to do the best. What I can say is that if Trump makes that announcement, they're all going to do well. You won't have made a bad choice in regards to the crypto industry if that announcement does occur. Right now, of course, we have to go forth with a degree of speculation, because we're not certain yet. But we're hearing it from a lot of sources. So very, very excited for that. I mean, I'm excited already just for the general price movement in regards to everything. But if we were to go ahead and throw on top of that Trump was going to announce a crypto reserve for the United States, which we desperately need. It is not just a good decision. It's an extremely good decision, because if we as the United States don't decide to create a Bitcoin reserve now, we're going to have to pay potentially 2, 3, 10 times as much in order to have the same strategic reserve that we could have today in the future. It is the right time. It is a good decision. It is, and it's probably the best usage of our taxpayer dollars that I can point to in a very, very long time. So it's a win. It's a universal win. It's a win for us in terms of our government and the United States going into the future. And it's a win for all of us that currently hold cryptocurrencies. All right. Moving forward, though, we do have to consider this one, guys. How Biden's exit has opened paths for a crypto-friendly Democratic platform. Ultimately, with Joe Biden's resignation from the campaign, we now have a big old question mark. Of course, we assume it's going to be Kamala. And it probably will. I can actually present a lot of reasons in terms of the U.S. political system that it will end up being Kamala Harris. But it's not set in stone. And that means there's a decent degree of speculation occurring from crypto investors and crypto holders. Is it going to end up being Kamala or not? Probably it will be Kamala, but that is kind of throwing a little bit of a question mark into the system. Kamala is anti-crypto, but Kamala also has no idea what cryptocurrency even is. So, does it mean anything? I mean, she's not going to win. And so, from my standpoint, I kind of look at it and go, it really doesn't matter what she thinks in regards to the subject matter. She isn't going to win. But we have to at least consider the possibility that somehow Kamala Harris manages to win. What would that do for the crypto markets and for the financial markets on the whole? It would be absolute anarchy and destruction. If we were to see Kamala Harris start to do very, very well in the coming months, we're going to see the crypto markets crash. They're going to crash. Crypto is very, very much reliant upon the US election at this point in time. The reason being is that it's not just crypto itself, it's everything else that's going on in the world. It's the future of finance. And so, if we are looking towards this election and we're looking towards it as a matter of our financial futures, ultimately, our futures are absolutely tied to Donald Trump winning. They are literally directly correlated. When it comes down to it, crypto is going to do well if Donald Trump wins. Crypto is going to do extremely poorly if it starts to look like anyone besides Donald Trump is going to win. And so, whenever you're looking at the prices each day in regards to your favorite crypto, you could probably correlate whether they're red or green based off of the news in regards to the election. Just something for everyone to keep in mind as we move forward. And continuing with our articles, guys, because I noticed the time. I've spent a lot talking about the kitty cat and about my general excitement, but need to jump through a lot of these different articles. So almost everyone in crypto is a winner in a second Trump administration. Of course, coming out of Yahoo Finance, but Bitcoin miners and crypto companies that have been stonewalled in efforts to go public in the United States may ultimately be the biggest winners in the digital asset world under a second Donald Trump presidency. Foreign companies are at risk of losing their market share, are the ones that have the most to lose. Of course, when it comes down to it, we have allowed foreign companies to take an advantage in an extremely important technological field. To me, this would be very much similar to the idea of us during the Cold War having just allowed the Russians to be in control ahead of the game in regards to certain technologies. How serious would you have taken it if during the Cold War someone had told you that Russia had a superior nuclear arsenal? You would have taken that very, very seriously. How serious would you have taken if someone had said that Russia controlled all of the world's oil and could bring our financial system absolutely to its knees? You would have taken that statement extremely seriously. And nowadays, that is crypto. When we let other nations lead the way in terms of this technology, we are allowing them the same degree of an advantage as if we had allowed them to develop nuclear arsenals that we weren't capable of matching. That's how serious it is. It is comparable. Because when it comes down to it, if sometime in the future we are looking at a world where Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, whoever has more control over blockchain technology and this advent in terms of really human innovation, then we are going to allow them the same control over us as if we had allowed the Soviet Union to be in charge of nuclear development. That's how serious it really is. And so it's extremely important that as Trump moves towards this election, that you are going to be able to live in a world where our currency, and especially our digital currency, because it's going to become digital, is actually decentralized and actually free. If we sit around and we take a back seat in terms of this development, we are going to suffer for generations on account of it. All right. Yes, more and more and more. Biden out, bull run in. Seems to be a fairly universal statement from investors. And so I will be including all of these articles, as always, inside of the daily links on the Discord. This is one for folks to just check out. There's way too much to get into. It is a long article, but it effectively follows the same sentiment. Now that Biden is not even a chance, we are seeing a huge degree of support roll into crypto. Another one for folks to go through. What crypto policies can voters expect from potential VPs under Kamala Harris? If you just want to go ahead and have the short and skinny on this one, it's the exact same as Joe Biden. I can save you the time reading this article. All of this article is just going to tell you that nothing is changing. Kamala Harris is going to maintain the same exact policies that the Biden administration has because she is in the same bed. Again, another article. And sorry, guys, we are article heavy this evening, but ultimately there was a lot of news to go through. And so, asset manager says Trump administration may make Bitcoin strategic reserve asset. The reason this article keeps popping up, is because it's probably happening at the Bitcoin conference, and it will be probably the largest announcement of the entire campaign. The idea that Donald Trump would set up a strategic Bitcoin reserve is going to be beyond pivotal. It will send Bitcoin to 100,000. If it sends Bitcoin to 100,000, think what the other cryptos are going to do. They're going to do similar gains. And so, because we've talked about this, the market follows Bitcoin. Besides XRP at the moment, because it seems to be doing its own thing, but the vast majority of the crypto market follows Bitcoin. And if it were to be made a strategic reserve of the United States, the largest economy, the wealthiest nation on this planet ever, were to make it a strategic reserve, that is going to be absolutely monumental. And so I just saw the comment. And I'm going to go ahead and get those dates real quick. It will be July 25th through the 27th will be the Bitcoin conference. For those that are around the Nashville area, you would be able to actually visit. And so you would have the opportunity to see Russell Brand, Donald Trump, RFK Jr., Michael Saylor, Michelle. Oh man, I am dropping the ball, not remembering. I believe it's Michelle Woods. And then, of course, everybody's favorite NSA leaker, Edward Snowden. So, this is going to be where the big announcement is expected, will be through the 25th and the 27th. So, for those that are keeping up with it, if it occurs, and Donald Trump comes out and makes that damn announcement, crypto's going to the flippin' moon. You are going to watch the crypto markets go to the flippin' moon on these dates if he makes that announcement. Keep in mind, guys, not a surefire thing, but it seems as if there's a lot of indications that that's what's going to occur. And so this is not just a big festival. This could end up being a monumental movement in regards to crypto and our future financial system. And yeah, it is not, Jennifer. That's this week. Exactly, Jennifer. It's happening now. It is happening now. And it is going to be huge. If this announcement is made, I cannot imagine what the charts are going to look like the day after. We're going to see Bitcoin scream through different barriers. In regards to price barriers, 80,000, scream past it, 90,000, scream past it, 100,000, scream past it. Who knows where it will end up settling in at? But when it comes down to it, this is possibly going to be some of the most important days. Now, of course, when we look at what has already occurred, in regards to recent news, we've already dealt with, just in the past week, some of the most monumental events in U.S. history. There will be forevermore in every history book. They will be learning about what happened to Donald J. Trump just in the past 10 days. It's going to be something where throughout U.S. history, it will be taught, it will be learned about. And this could end up being really the cherry on top of this extremely historic time for the United States, where an announcement is actually made in regards to where our financial system is going. And so this is going to be huge. Expect me to be talking far too much about the Bitcoin conference, because there is the chance that Trump makes that announcement. All right, moving along. Trump's RNC speech give tech enthusiasts hope for the future. I mean, more and more positivity. In all honesty, a lot of these different ones have been kind of similar, but I thought this one would be somewhat fun. Biden's exit spurs record $280 million in daily volume on Polymarket as elections enter uncharted territory. So that when they say Polymarket is a blockchain-based gambling site designed around gambling on who's going to win certain events. And so these bets are being placed in regards to the election. And Biden's exit spurred a massive amount of investment in Donald Trump winning the election. Not unexpected in the slightest. Not unexpected in the slightest. Oh, there we go. Kamala Harris meme coin soars to all-time high after Joe Biden drops out. And so another article that'll be included in there. But the general sentiment in regards to meme coins tends to go with whoever the largest candidate is in the party. And so right now, Kamala Harris, according to the meme sector, is the Democrats' political candidate. And I think that is extremely apropos, because Kamala Harris is in and of herself a meme. She's a joke. She's not capable of having an educated conversation with politicians. She's barely capable of reading a teleprompter. And so I thought it was particularly funny to see the meme sector running and jumping behind Kamala because they're making a joke out of her. They're making a joke out of her. And, well, it's very easy to make a joke out of her, unfortunately, for her sake. I really wish that wasn't it, because I know many folks out there, always just wish ill upon the opposition. I don't wish ill upon the Democratic Party. I want them to do a good job because ultimately it's my future also. I want them to do a good job. Unfortunately, they're not. And so I do not wish to entirely poo-poo upon Kamala, but Savvy, she is dumber than a box of rocks. And so unfortunately, I have to be a little bit mean because ultimately it's true. And when it comes down to it, it's made her extremely meme worthy. And the memes have been having an amazing time messing with her. And yes, Gary 7, Politics Today. Kamala said that she slept with a Brazilian. AOC asked how many is a bazillion. Everything here checks out, Gary. I would believe that in an article. I honestly would believe it. So for our last articles that we're going to cover real quick, guys, is in regards to the massive outage that occurred in terms of our banking system, our airlines, are essentially a lot of everything in regards to our IT across the United States and outside of the United States ended up failing over this past weekend. I know that everyone here is probably already aware of the fact that everything went down. What I would like to share is a little bit of information from the technology side in regards to why it went down. So, CrowdStrike, major partner of Microsoft and many other tech-related companies, provides IT support in the background. Things like maintaining your internet servers. So when someone shows up on your website, CrowdStrike is providing a lot of that background, that information that no one sees, that makes the website work. That's what they're doing. In other situations, they're providing different solutions. So say you're a company that needs servers in order to send out emails. That would be something that CrowdStrike would be providing the service for. What CrowdStrike does is they have an own centralized servers. These servers are all based inside of certain areas. Whether they're renting or leasing them or whether they own them themselves, it's the same story. They're centralized. All of the data is being held on specific servers. And that is the reason that when CrowdStrike was hacked, that it immediately created issues across a ton of different sectors. We had issues in airlines. We had issues in banking. I know for those inside of the United States, you had issues going to the bank. There is no doubt over this last weekend. If you went on Saturday or Sunday, I guarantee it was not a smooth process to go to the bank. The reason being is that the systems that actually verified whether the money was there were down. In Puerto Rico, it was the same. In Puerto Rico, we had massive lines outside of every bank over the weekend because people were trying to deposit their checks. People were trying to get money out to pay bills. People were trying to get money out to go out drinking for the weekend. Whatever they were trying to get money for, they were not able to. Not in the vast majority of locations around the island. And so this is an indication, and I think this is my big takeaway, is that not only is it occurring inside of the United States, CrowdStrike provides services for the European Union. They provide services in Asia and Singapore, Hong Kong, South Korea, Japan. They provide services to the vast majority of the developed world. And they are a centralized Web2 company. And this is where the general idea of Web3 is something that I think people need to start learning about. Because what is Web 3.0? And so, for those that this is an entirely new topic to, you never heard about Web 3.0, you didn't even know there was a difference between the two, do not worry. You are not in any way alone. It is a very, very new topic and conversation for the vast majority of people. And what it is, though, and what Web 3.0 is in terms of a distinction between the two, it is the idea of decentralized data storage. And so CrowdStrike was very easy to hack because it's a centralized company. Essentially, all the data is sitting on certain servers. It's sitting on certain hard drives. And that makes it very, very easy to go after that information. And then when they do hack that information, it's all of it. It's your name, social security, last name, address, date of birth. It's all the information in one place. Web 3 is a very big difference. Web 3.0, and I can use an example for this one because CL Protocol, company that I helped establish and everything else, we utilize Web 3.0, which means we do not have your information. I don't have it. When someone interacts with our blockchain, we don't have your information. I don't know who you are from Adam. No idea. Web 2.0 is based off of knowing their information. And so we're moving towards a world, and I just want to introduce this idea tonight because I know it's a lot to wrap everyone's heads around. It's a big shift in terms of understanding how the internet works. And so these articles are going to be in the description. Please check them out, learn a little bit more, and we'll get into more of an in-depth talk about it in the future. But ultimately, it's the distinction between centralization on Web 2. Your information for a website is centralized. It's held together, all in one place. I hack the one place, I have everything. With Web 3.0, we're looking at decentralization. And so an example would be that your password, half of your password is held on one server and half of your password is held on another server. Think about why this is important. Because if I were to hack one server, I only have half of your password. I don't actually have it. In a situation like what occurred with CrowdStrike, they hacked one server and they had all the information. With Web 3.0, they would need to hack 100 servers at the same time in the exact same moment and take that information, absolutely decrypt it because it is going to still be in a cryptographic form. And then they would be able to exploit the data they had stolen. That is a far more complicated procedure than just hacking one server. And Jennifer, is this about going to the quantum internet? I think, Jennifer, that this is one of those important times to point out that ultimately We're not worried about our system, our internet being based off of quantum computing. I'm worried about our system being quantum resistant. That is the important thing to keep in mind. Quantum resistance. We want to ensure that our future systems are not capable of people hacking and taking advantage of them. I don't care if they run it on a toaster. If a toaster runs our financial system and it ensures that we are all safe, I'm completely fine with that. I don't care what term they use for it. What I do care about is what is it resistant against? Is it going to be safe? And so I think that's something that we need to be keeping in mind. And Web 3.0 is going to be a term that I know I throw out so many new terms for everyone to learn about, and it's a lot. But ultimately, that's going to be another one that's very important for folks to be knowledgeable about what it means. Web 3.0 is the decentralization of the internet. It is based off of blockchain technology. And so when I am talking about blockchain crypto, as we've already dove into, it means way more than just your money. It doesn't just mean money. It means so much, so much, so many different sectors are going to move over to a new way of accounting. And the internet is not going to be left behind. The internet is going to be making that same movement also. It's going to be moving towards a decentralized internet, no longer controlled by Google servers and databases, no longer controlled by Microsoft. It will be decentralized. And that's where Web3 comes into effect. And it already exists. I use it, and many, 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 many more Americans are going to be using it in the coming years. And so thank you guys all so much for joining this evening. I will be jumping in to the original Mark Z stream at 7 p.m. to talk about the kitty cats. And so I will see you over there in, just about an hour and 15 minutes from now. So thank you guys. I love you. I hope you have an amazing, amazing start to the week, and talk to you soon.